it for yourself. People are complaining, but you know, we are used to that. Even though the economy is very open, people are still complaining, but it is okay. Today on Top of the Town, we are asking ourselves, is it okay for influencers to talk about or to speak about or to tweet about or to put their posts their social media on social issues? Yeah, is it important, or is it inevitable? Yeah, that is what we're asking today. But first of all, let me tell you what is an influencer, what are social issues that we're talking about today. Who is an influencer? Yeah, an influencer is a person who inspires or guides the action of others. Yeah, is a person who inspires or guides the actions of others. That is an influencer. And what I mean by social issues are climate change, school bullying, overpopulation, childhood obesity, gender inequality, social discrimination, racial discrimination, poverty, healthy care, like more.
Why isn't torture there?
Torture. Like I said, more on that.
Okay.
So I'm asking today, Byron, is it important for an influencer to talk about social issue, or to speak about, or to tweet about, or to write a post on their Facebook or their Instagram on social issues that are worrying about the country? Is it important? Because right now, according to statistics, I think we have, no, I was reading statistics yesterday, there is 3.4 billion people that are using social media, the influencers. That is like 45% whole world. So I'm asking myself, is it important, of which sometimes I was looking at, sometimes I look through people's posts or influencers' posts, and they're always, sometimes they're promoting nudity, sometimes because they're paid, they're talking about, okay, irrelevant things. Yeah, what I think, sorry to use that word, they're talking about irrelevant things instead of talking about social issues. And then that brings something into my mind. Is it that we have lost track of time, or we do not see all these things that are really happening?
I feel like you're answering your question.
No,
so you're saying they should talk about those issues.
Yeah, I'm saying they should talk about these issues, of which they're not talking about them.
I think they should, but they should do it very well. Like, do it with caution. Just
like
because, like how? One, if you're going to talk about, let's not use many racial words. Those ones don't apply to us. We are all black here. Yeah, there is no racial discrimination here. Let's talk about the issue of, for example, torture, and how people get led to it. I know, yeah, there is a particular way you need to address the issue. Just because they say there is freedom of expression, for example, you're talking about, is it a must for influencers to talk about these issues? Yes, they should, but do it properly. Do it through good channels. If I'm going to talk about you, Brenda, and I'm abusing you, and I know you're a very corrupt person, but I'm like, look at your hair, that's why it's like this, your face is over what? Now I'm not doing anything. What I'm doing is I'm abusing you, in short. How about you bring out facts? You say, Brenda, the truth is, on this day, you stole $1 million from your ministry, or whatever MP constituency you have. And the truth is, with evidence, but also even though, because what are you basing on to say that I'm corrupt, for example? You get? So even as you're putting, yes, by the way, that my answer to that question is yes. In fact, if you have a platform, if you're an influencer, I use that word loosely, particularly here in Uganda, we don't have very many of those.
Influencers?
We really don't.
We do have influencers.
No.
Because, you see, why I told you that you're saying we don't, because they literally never speak about these things. They always, sometimes they...
No. But an influencer it's not a must. It's not a must that she needs to speak about or he needs to speak about this. It's like, can't you speak about whatever I want? Why are you forcing me?
All these things, because I'm sure that you talk about all these things because you have a following. Yeah, you have a following,
Yes.
and you have people that you're inspired.
Do you know how I got
and
that
so on,
following?
They work upon it.
Do you know how I got the following?
But talking about all those things.
No, the reason I got that following, it might be for different reasons. I might be, most of us, particularly in Uganda, we claim we are influencers when we, most of the influencers here are either musicians, or they are radio or TV personalities, or they are what? Or they have some money. Usually when people have some money and they overshow us on social media, they obviously then become influencers. I don't remember what you read for influencer, but we'll get
A person who guides or inspires people's actions.
Exactly my point. And we need to go in for a break. But when we come back, I'll be telling you why in Uganda particularly, I'll bring it home. We have no influencers like those. At least not as many as
but they claim they're influencers.
That's the thing. Let's go in for a break. When we come back, we'll be coming back with more here on Church of Uganda Family TV.
Brethren, yes we can. We can clear the debt of church house. And I want to invite you to give generously to the love gift. May God bless you as you give.
Do you know that you can now enjoy great enriching shows anywhere through the Family TV app? Here is how to download it. Open Play Store on your phone. Search for the Family TV app. Click Install. After installing it, open it and enjoy enriching content anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Family TV, enriching lives.
Talk of the Town.
Thank you so much for staying with us here at Church of Uganda Family TV. We are talking about social issues, how the people we term as influencers, particularly here in Uganda, and I've been telling Brenda that we really actually don't, the people who we think are influencers are really not influencers. When you think about it, they are not. Because influencers are meant to cause some sort of change, right? That the day they talk about this, there is change. The people we actually don't ever show the biggest influencers. For example, did you know that the president of this country is the biggest influencer of this country? Did you know?
Yeah.
Because he says today, the truth is you're not going out after 7.
And
you want to go out after 7. That is what they call influencing. Influencing in English means influencing. That when I tell you something, you do it without questioning what I have influenced you to do it. That is why. So the president is the biggest influencer. Those people that we think are influencers, the celebrities, what they are really not. The church is a very big influencer because every Sunday, millions of Ugandans go to church and they sit and they hear what. That's a very, very, very.
Even pastors.
It's a very anti-Christians. The church. Everyone. Those guys are the biggest. The church is the biggest, one of the biggest influencers, even in the world. The Catholic Church in Rome. That when they say something, if the Archbishop today came out and said something, it would go properly. Like it would be as if gospel truth. If the Pope, sometimes the Catholic Pope comes out sometimes and says, no, like gay marriage is okay. And then it becomes, no, it's like if the Pope has done it, even me I can. So influencing, and here in Uganda, Brenda was asking earlier before the break that why is it that the influencers here are not talking about social issues? And I'm telling her that because you're assuming they're influencers, they are really not. And the reason they became famous or celebrities even in the first place, they weren't talking about social issues. So what makes you think they're going to talk about social issues now?
You see, Byron, my issue is they begin as influencers.
No.
Yeah, they begin to talk about them.
You mentioned, it's okay. Let me give you an example of one of the biggest influencers we have currently in Uganda, whether we want it or not. Bobby Wine. Did he start talking about social issues?
Yeah, he began talking, even the songs,
How?
even everything that he was doing, even the songs.
Are you
he
sure?
was talking about.
Talking
Yes.
about social issues?
Yes.
Not
If we could
love.
play them here, you would.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't. He was talking about social
I was talking
issues.
about love as well.
After here.
I was talking about love as well. But
No, he
yes,
was talking about social
we're not going to bargain or talk about Bobby Wine's musical career.
Yeah,
because
an
it's-
influencer.
He's now an influencer.
I'm going to.
So you're saying they
the
started
problem-
out as how? Give me another influencer that started out as talking about social issues, but then he's an influencer.
Like Tamale Binundi, like Frank Gashon. But yeah, they started out talking about real issues. and
No,
social
politics.
issues. But of which now,
Differentiate.
No, it wasn't.
Differentiate between politics and social. Have you had Tamale Murundi
It
speak?
is different.
Have you had Tamale Murundi speak?
Yes, I have.
And you're sure it's not about social issues or politics? I think it's politics.
He began out because he has not just begun right now, Byron.
Anyway, so what are you saying?
So I'm saying that the problem here, all the issue here in Uganda, you begin out well, you talk about social issues, talk about real issues, and things that are into Uganda's mind that people want to hear, and they're like, okay, this one can talk well, this one is a good influencer, this one talks about real issues, but at the end, when some people are not respected and they're taken to jail because of talking their things, they're like, okay, never come. They no longer talk about real issues and social issues. So that is the problem that we have here in Uganda.
I don't think so. And here
Why are you not thinking so?
Because one, you're assuming that everyone is an influencer, which is very, very wrong because they are not. If an influencer, I have given examples of particular influencers. If Bobby Wine, the other day, Bobby Wine said, you hit the streets of Kampala and protest when they arrested him. We had the November riots, right? That's an influencer. If President Museveni came up today and said, curfew is at 7, I don't want to see any border after 7, there won't be any border after 7. If the church today came out and said, you know what, today...
Because they have a huge following, right?
No. Because they're influencers. They have a say in society. Those people you're mentioning, like Tamale Mirudi, Tamale Mirudi today came and said, let's all wear shorts to town. I won't. Because he's not an influencer. I think we need to get that thinking out of our minds that an influencer is actually someone who influences you.
Who has earned it?
There are many people who have earned it in different ways, and we term them influencers here in Uganda. Someone will go nude and become famous over time, and then of course brands and whatnot will come and say, because you have a huge following, that is what we term influencers here in Uganda. Because you have a huge following, I will give you my brand, Byron. If I take a picture with Byron, because he has a huge following, many people will see him because many people follow him. But you don't know how he gained those followers. Either he's a thug, or his nudes leaked, or I don't know. So you can't term someone like that an influencer because what you're saying, they need to talk about social issues, right?
Yeah, and
so
great
you don't expect me, if I gained my followers, if I became an influencer, according to Uganda, through stealing or through being nude, don't expect me to all of a sudden wake up and talk about torture. For what? It doesn't affect me. I'm okay where I am. I'm making my money as an influencer, and I put that in quotes. So what do you want from me?
Byron, if these people, or if what I'm trying to think, that if these people, okay, an influencer is a person who guides other people's decisions or guides other people's
True,
actions.
whether good or bad.
Yeah, whether good or bad.
Now when you say like that,
So,
then we have many influencers, because there are many influencers who influence us to go to the bar,
So if they were
many
doing it
influencers
in the right
that influence
way.
us to take alcohol. There are many influencers.
yeah, so
in
if
that
they're
way.
in that way.
Uh-huh.
If they are doing it in the right way, or if they
What do
were
you mean
doing-
right? Right according to who?
Right according to what the country is going through,
What
the
do you
country
mean?
is facing right now. If all the influencers were writing about torture, like
No.
stop torture, then the country maybe would
By the way, Brenda,
know that everyone is really
I get you.
feeling that.
Brenda,
what
I
they're
understand
talking
you,
about.
and by the way, I'm on your side, and I agree. People need to talk about issues like torture and corruption and whatnot,
Especially those
which
ones
is
who
okay.
have huge following.
which is okay, but it don't make it, because you're asking the question. The topic of the
Yeah,
topic
is
is
it
it a must? It's there. Is it a must for these guys to talk about social? No, it's not, because it's required. Yes, please do, but it shouldn't be compulsory. Because because Byron, you have a huge following. Please talk about torture. Why? What if me? I don't. I'm not affected by torture. I'm okay where I am. I'm comfortable, because that's most.
But it will come back to you.
But
yeah,
you see,
it will come back
how?
to you. Like remember the November riots? Even those people who are in that place, remember the other riots?
No, let's talk about torture. Let's keep at torture.
Okay.
Let's leave.
Okay.
How will it
About
come
the
back
torture.
to me?
It will come back to you.
How?
You might have someone maybe in your family or anything else. Oh, I don't know. Maybe
How do
friends.
those people allegedly? How do they allegedly get tortured? By talking about government people, right?
They're using literature.
By talking about government people, whatever means they're using. So me in my
They're
influence.
talking about social issues. Which torture is a social issue?
And that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm also saying, that it shouldn't be a must for me. For me, if I'm influencing for the church, for example, I'm Church of Uganda, I go and influence and say, guys, come to church. It's amazing. It's dope. Hey, all these things. Man, my life is my life is in the church, right? And I'm not saying that these social issues won't reach me. They will, because the people around me, these people they are torturing, are in the society and they come to church. But what I'm saying is, it shouldn't be a must. It should be required. We should encourage them. My issue is you making it like, if you have a big following, tweet about this. No way. It is my social media handle. I can handle it the way I want to. If I want to tweet about Jesus today, I can. If I want to tweet about torture tomorrow, I can. It shouldn't be limited to now. If you're social, you only talk about these issues. No.
Me, I'm what I'm concluding with, that it is a must if you have a huge following.
No.
If you're an influencer,
Zero.
actually, if you know yourself, because we see these people terming themselves influencers.
And I already
saying that in Uganda.
And
you
I
have
already said we
influencers.
don't have
and
any.
if you know that you're in Uganda and you think you're an influencer,
Well,
please,
you're not.
Byron is saying we do not have influencers. Of course, I'm saying that I'm seeing some influencers tweet about these things. Don't tweet about irrelevant things. Yeah, irrelevant things, that is what I said. Because if Uganda right now, if we are going through tortures, stuff like that, and you do not talk about it, I'm like, is this a Uganda or someone else?
My conclusion is simple. One, if you know you are a celebrity, if you're known a bit, if people come to your concerts, if people hear you out, if you have a huge following on social media,
Those are the influencers.
then you know you're not an influencer. But what I'm saying is, yes, use your platform for good, because it doesn't make sense for you to have all those people following you and checking you out. You're just shaking your bums for us every time. It's not a good
Nude.
thing. You being nude or whatever, that's not good. But I think that you need to start using your social media or whatever to talk about these social issues. But as Brenda said, and as Brenda is asking, is it a must? No, it isn't.
It is
Please, at the end of the day, it's your social media. No one knows what to do with it. The people who have used it to talk about torture have been tortured themselves. So
Even others who think for them.
even me, if I'm like banana, even if I talk about this, they'll torture me, so I keep quiet.
That's what an influencer does not keep quiet.
That no.
Byron, an influencer does not keep quiet.
Like who? I want you to give me an example of an influencer, but you're not. You're just
Like
saying an
Kakwenza.
influencer. That's did you know?
That one is also an influencer.
Did you know Kakwenza before that?
You see, even
Did you know?
do you
Speak
know that-
honestly. You are Church of Uganda Family TV. Did you know who Kakwenza was?
Yes, I
before.
knew.
How did you know him?
He was coming to our church.
We need to go in for a break. But when we come back, we'll be coming back with the sports updates here at Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. See you.
Talk of the Town.